Hey guys, so it's 1:30 now, and we're going to be implementing the merge feature for our KV store. If you're not sure, it's called nimbusdb. I'll just paste it here. So it's a key value store which we're writing, and so we're going to be implementing the merge feature. So basically, the merge feature, what is it? So we have this invalid data files, the implementing the merge feature. So we have something called, let's say, a sync. Yeah, let's call it sync. If you call that method, what happens is we go through all the invalid merge files, data files, and then remove the expired ones and keep only the the new ones, like the valid ones. So this makes it easier for us to go through the keys, so that we don't take up more space which is not needed, because the keys which have expired, we don't need them, so we can just remove them. Okay, so I was actually thinking to implement the options feature, but I think that can wait. So from where do we start? So right now let's just test this once. If you haven't watched the last stream, do watch, because we have implemented a couple of features yesterday, so it might be helpful. Yeah, tests are passing. We are good to go. So if we go in data, we have these files, right? So each is of 22 bytes. Okay, this is test data. If you see the test data, it's 9.9 MB. Yeah, because the threshold which we have given is 25 MB. So if we, let's say, set it to 5 MB and then we run the test. So this test is using the test data folder for storing the files. So each file, instead of having 25 MB, it will have 5 MB each. And test is done. If we do test data, so you can see it is limited to 5 MB, and the other file is 4.9. So that's working as intended. And even if I open db.go, example/db.go, I set it to true, which means use the test db, and then I do the size. It gives me the size of the number of keys existing now. So if I do all, it prints all the values, keys and values, and they're offset in the particular file. So this is working as intended. So what we want is, now let's say in this invalid file the keys have expired. So what we want to do is, we want to remove them by calling a function called sync, let's say. Oops. This is, you can see this, right? The letters. I think it's visible. Okay, I won't do anything here because the screen is taking up the space. I'll just do here. Let's call this as sync, and let's attach it to db. So let's put the to do here. So first thing is to create new temp file. But I think the path will change. I guess that's okay. First is to create new temp file. So what if, I guess, so there are like a couple of methods we can use. One is to, if we find an invalid key, then remove until I mean remove that segment, then that block becomes empty. Again you have to keep track of the empty spaces and all. So instead of that, we'll just create a new file, put all valid keys in the new temp file until threshold is reached. So we put them in the new temp file until threshold is reached, and then we repeat this process for all id.id files in data directory. So this is what we want to do. So first we want to go through all the files in the directory, right? So I guess what's there in db.dirpath, because I think yesterday there was some problem with this. I mean, we wanted to change this. It's called sync. Let's just create another else if. So now if I do make db and I don't want to use this test db, and I say sync, so this is a path now, right? So we can use the files in this path. Okay, so let's say similar to like how we read this directory yesterday. So we read this at this path. I guess this is how we read. Yeah, the dir path we read. And so let's say this returns an error. Handle the error. So is this? Oh, I think in range you have to do. Yeah. So now we want to create a new temp file. So is there I think there's a util for that. Yeah, create temp. So you can use this method. So the pattern, temp file data pattern, yeah, it should be, but I think this should be inactive segment data file suffix, because I want the new files to be .id file extension, and this is db.dirpath. So in this path you're going to create, and again if error is not equals to null, so we have the file. So I don't know if we are creating the file. So I'll just watch ls-l data, so we can watch what's happening. Okay, so no new files are created. We are just doing this. So this should be here. So for each file we are going to this Yeah, so this is file, and we get the name here. Yeah, so dot id file and this, but what we want is okay, there are two files. This is not for okay, I think this should be fine. For each file we are creating temp file. This will be temp file. What if okay, I think this is also being printed. I don't know if it is print problem or not. id file. That's weird. I think dot id file. We just remove that. And if we now run db and then sync, yeah, so I think it is not what we wanted. Where's the suffix? Okay, it should be temp inactive. Data file pattern should be this star.id file. So now we can do this. So for each file, we are going to create a new file only. You have to see if it has any keys which is not active. So in order to do that, we need to scan the file once, I guess. Okay, but I think we can keep that aside. But before that, what we can do is we can just do the brute force thing, which is to go through the file, go through the file and then just put the only active files in this, right? So for that we need to read the current file or get the segments. So we can do this, or how we are opening this parse active segment file. So we can just parse it. So here we need to do something. So instead of parsing it, yeah, we can do this. When the timestamp is expired, we can just return, but I think we can just duplicate this once. For now we can just take this. I can say parse segment file. So I guess this might. So right now what we want is we want to write segments, only the active segments. We want to write all the active segments to another file, right? So we want to get all the active segments. So for that, here parse segment files, or we can say get active segments, get active file segments, you can say. So we'll give the path, it will return an error, but along with that it's going to return array of segment. So it's null. So firstly we are going to say our segments is going to be so we have made it, and we are going to get the segment, and only if it has not expired, what we're going to do is we are going to say segments. We're going to append the segment here, and at last we're going to return the segments, right? So this is going to give us the segments, and we can, before even creating the temp, we can get segments file path is going to be file.name, I guess. Yeah, I think it's file.name. Let's try file.name. Yeah, I think then it's db.dirpath/file.name. That should work. Yeah. So path is going to be I think we have to create a utility function for these things, because I feel like we are repeating this. So we got the segments, and we need to write these segments to this particular file, but I think we can set it, but that would change it. So there is this limit active data file to threshold. Instead we want to so this we want to we want to create a custom path. So instead of doing this, but basically we want to keep writing to segment and also checking the segment size. I think this should work, but this only writes to the active data file. So we need to see, we need to have is merge kind of thing, right? So this is create active data file. So we need to create something like this for inactive file. So I guess so. I'm going to create an options struct kind of thing. It's going to contain all the options. So this is merge, and after that we need the path, I guess, merge path. So basically what we want here is we want to give a custom path to this, right? So let's say, so we can remove this if it doesn't work in the future, but for now I think this works. So instead of having this, we're going to have opts options, and if opts dot is going to be opts dot merge file path, else the normal one, right? So we need file info and error. Right, so here again we want to see if opt dot is merge. We want to do something else. We want to do the normal one, which is active. So we need something like this, but for inactive. I mean, right now we don't have that, but what the inactive data file will do is we'll create a new inactive data file. But for this, what we're doing, we are reading the directory path. We are going through each file, and if it is an active data file, then if it has a .d file, right, then we are creating the file name when we are creating an id file, and then we are moving the d file. We are just renaming the d file to id file, and then creating a new file, and then creating a new d file and returning it. Not returning it, we're just creating it. So we got the segments. We need to keep writing for segments. That will be like this, something like this. Right, so we need to keep write segments right? Segment, keep on writing segment, or something like db dot write segment, right? So we do that. Before that, we need to check if the threshold is more or less. So let's say if one id file, so let's say there's one id file which has reached 5 MB, and we are going to write the next segment, and which we are checking this has become what? So this has reached the threshold, so we need to create another id file, right? So but the thing is, we need to check all this. So for writing the id file, I guess limit active data file. So here we can create, so we can just rename this to limit data file to threshold, and we can create inactive this, and we're going to go through. All we're going to do is we are going to be creating temp inactive data file pattern, and yeah, I guess no, we were not going to set anything else. So this is what we need, but we need to check that, right? So yeah, we are checking that below, where we are calling this. Now this will not be dir path, but this will be opt.merge file path, right? And also we have to update the name, because create active data file, create inactive data file. So we have to limit this one. Now this will be this, limit data file to threshold. I think this can be optional or what? Something like this. No? I guess we need to supply NL augment or an empty options. We need to see if we're not using this anywhere else. So before writing this, we can say limit data file to threshold, and we're going to say path. Is this a path? Okay, we're going to how much we're going to add. So that's going to be segment dot size, and there are going to be options. The is merge is going to be true, and merge file path is going to be this. I think it's going to be dirt path. Let's check this. Actually, I'm not sure, because the dir path active data file, what's the path? Yeah, I think this is name plus that, so this should be, the path will be plus, I mean this should be just a path. So we are writing to segment, right? So let's see, we just put So for this we need to actually run the db command once again because any key hasn't expired yet. So we're going to check this and size plus add, what's the size here? Okay, size plus add is greater than data threshold, then we're going to create inactive or create active, right? So we also need to check for timestamps before writing to segment. So is that taken care? No, I don't think so. So what we need to do is we need to check for timestamps. We need to see if the timestamp is like active or not. So do we get that information anywhere? So yeah, we have this parse active segment file, parse, yeah, get active file segments. Okay, we only get the active segments. Okay. So let's say length of segments and what we're going to do is we're going to set the expiry. Where's the expiry? Yeah, we're going to set it to 1 or let's say 5 seconds. So we have set it to that. I don't know if it even runs. There's some problem. Key expired. Yeah, key doesn't. I mean, key expires because we have just updated the expires time. But if we run without that, it should usually pass. Yeah, we reset that to 5 seconds and then we call the sync function here, and let's see data here. So if I do sync, because anyone haven't expired yet, so if we do set abc and 1x abcd, get abc, yeah, so if I do sync now, still it's not getting. See, is it even sitting? I'm not sure. Okay, I think we haven't set this to test data. I think, yeah, we should not set this to test data. Okay, I think we have to see get active file segments. Yeah, this is. Actually, we have to get only the ID files, right? So this, yeah, we need this. If it is not equal, then we need to continue. But is this file out in name? Yeah, I think path.text will take care. So if I do sync now, it only gets ID files. So segments are not getting any active segment. So if it is not expired, then we append If it has expired, it won't happen, right? It's not even going inside this. So are we getting the segment even? I don't think. Okay, I think what we need to do is let's clean this and then let's use a test DB, because we have much higher DB, I mean entries there. So yeah, we have this, so we get the length of segments as well. So let's try this. So because now the KV expires in is, let's say, 10 seconds, and if we do set new key and set that to new value and we do sync, it should return. Okay, this goes into the active data file, right? Okay, this is for the second file. Okay, so what we want to do is so we are writing the segment, but where are we even writing? We're writing it to some other. So let's see, let's check that. I guess we're not writing it anywhere, but we are limiting. Are we limiting this? So we're setting the flags. Not sure. I guess we have to write. Where are we even writing? So we are writing to active data file. Right, okay, I think we should do this. Right, if we do sync, yeah, I don't know what's. Okay, maybe we need to do this only. Nope. Merge file path. It's the same. Okay, this is a file path. Okay, so this is going to be the file name, but we are going to write it to this. So we can just try doing this. We are writing the active data file. And why aren't we even thresholding it? So instead of this, we have to write to the new ID file, right? So we can do that. Okay, I think creation might be the problem. So what's the file .name? Yeah, I think you can see the number of files here, and if I do all the hidden files, then something is weird. Let's clean this and let's write it to test. Yeah. So if we have one ID file, so first let's stop this writing because we don't want to write, and let's do db and then sync. Nothing. Yep. Why is it 0 again? We have the value. So so this is not sending what we want. Okay, I think everything is expired. I guess, because it's because only 10 seconds, right? So when we are generating, let's say we need so if we do this now, all the tests, it's going to be about 1 hour, 10 hours time. So when we are reading, it'll have, it wouldn't have expired. So that is at least working. So if I do sync now, at least we're getting the number of segments. So I can, so if it's temp inactive data file pattern. Why is it getting panic? Why it's panicking? Slash. Okay, so we don't want to give the path here, we just want the dir path. So I think if we have more files than it, if we have more ID files, then the threshold might exceed, and then we will have something to test. So right now it's 4.1 is 5 MB. We need some more. Let's do some more. So let's do for 2 million, 2 lakhs. So it's 200,000. So 1, 2, we need 3. Yeah, 3. Okay, now we have these inactive files. Now if I do make db and then do sync, still okay, so this needs to be of 10 hours. So now I'll revert this to 10 seconds and then make db and then sync. Yeah, now we are going to write. So now if we write this, so we have to actually keep an eye on this file names, right? So to see if they're changing. So if we do sync, has anything changed? Yeah, I think it has changed, right? There's no 2102 and there's no, I think it has changed, except for even the D file has changed. So let's get the size. Yeah, it is getting everything. So it is merging. So let's do one thing. Let's do this hover first, right? Make the test, and then before the next test, we don't want to, like in the make file, we don't want to do this. and before that I will just remove the D file because I only want one D file. Right, if I do make test again, let's see. I think it might not open. I guess this is working. So first we need to create invalid. Okay, let's do one thing. We can do this. So the thing is, we will just, what we're going to do is, we're going to first do 10-second or let's say 20 seconds expiry. We're going to do make test, which will remove all the test files and do again, like do it again. But right now what we're going to do is we're going to copy the ID files to somewhere else and then to run another test, but this time keep an expiry of some 1 hour or 2 hours, and then again we're going to copy the old ID files back. So I'll just tell you what I'm doing. So there are these ID files, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all of the test data / star.id file. I'm going to copy it, let's say before that make a folder here, let's say test data / star.id file. I'll copy to this ID folder, and now I will update this to 10 hours and then run the test again. Right. So what I'm going to do is, if you see the ID folder here, which I have just copied, we have these files, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all the ID files to the test data now. So you can see some of them are expired now because before the first test we ran 20 seconds might have been expired now, and the second test is 10 hours, which will be active. So what I want to test is when we run the sync command, the ID files should have reduced. So that's the goal. So let's run this in another terminal. Right, so let's watch the test data folder. So there are 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3, 6 ID files. So this should reduce to 3, I guess, 3 ID files when we do, how many ID files are there? Yeah, these 3. So these 3 are expired ones. So the sync should remove these 3 ID files. Let's see. I guess, are we even removing that? So after writing, okay, if we limit this, right, we have to remove the merge file path, I guess. We have to remove the merge file path. Not merge file path. So when we run the command, right, so let's say we are going through all these ID files, we are creating another ID file and writing it to that, so we have to remove this ID file, right, which we are doing. So I guess instead of this, we are going to do this in the file at the end of the file, but that might cause yeah, I think we can do that. I guess this is the path. So let's see if it works. If I do sync, yeah, it has removed all the files. Is it? So if we do this, and the size will be 0 because we are removing all the inactive files, but we really want to remove the new ones. I mean, I can do that here itself, but I'm just seeing if that will work. So if, let's say, a file, yeah, I think even if a file is like half occupied, then we are anyhow going to remove this path. I think, yeah, this should work. But I think there's more work because we need to do this again. Let's do make test, but luckily we have the ID files. Let's watch this. So you can see the size is increasing, and then when it reaches 5 MB, it switches to a new ID file. Right now, let's copy that similarly how we did that. Now we are going to have how many? 6 ID files. And now if I do make db and then sync, let's see. Yeah, there you go. Okay. It's doing all the okay, it's 16 MB, but okay, we are not thresholding it. We are writing to the same active data file. So when it comes here and it is merge, we create this, right? And then we set the data file, active data file. Why is it removing all the ID files? Is it because of this? We're going through all the files. It's even deleting. It's even deleting the old files or the new files, sorry. So even if we don't remove, let's say, okay, we're printing the path. Let's do make test, and at the same time let's copy this. So let's actually copy all the test data.id file to id. Now if we see id, we have all the old, so we don't need to run test. But yeah, we need to run because right now we are not removing anything, but Yeah, what if we run sync again? It's the same, right? So these two files, I think they are the old files. So these three, right? So these have no active keys, so we are ignoring them. 191, but we haven't deleted it. How do we delete it? We can do this. I think it makes sense that we're getting this, but this should have removed the one, let's say the invalid. It should have at least reduced the file size. I don't know why. Okay, I think if you see 34509, I think if you see the ones with 0, right, they haven't changed the file name. Like, we haven't created any new file name. The ones with non-zeros is 2621, it is there because it's 0. 34509, it's not there because it's non-zero. 408 is there because it's 0, and we have 424 we don't have, and 478 we don't have. Okay, what's happening is, if the length of segments is 0, we are not doing anything. So we can add one check, but it should be generic, so we can't just do that. So basically we want to remove the path, right? But this should be the old path, not the new path. So when we are creating this, I think, yeah, let's say this. Firstly, let's make test with so now what we're doing is, so another problem is the D file size, right? It's 31 MB. This shouldn't be the case. Not now, but previously I saw it was more than that. So we have to when we're writing to segment, it should be, the data file should be below the threshold. So before writing, we're checking if adding this segment is going to cause any threshold exceeding error or something. So size plus add is greater than data file threshold, which is 5 MB. Then we see if it is a merge. If it is a merge, then we create a new temp. We have to, the thing is, we don't need to rename this because we are already using ID files, right? And okay, let's copy this test data to ID. Now let's go back make test again. So if we do make db, so if we do watch the test data, okay, let's copy the id / star into test data. Now if we watch the test data, we have many. Let's see how many of them goes. So basically ones which are the files which are like which don't have any active keys goes away. So that it doesn't clear out all ones. I think I think it didn't clear all. So I think this will not be here. So if you see, so if I do sync again, it shouldn't change anything. Why is it writing to the D file? So it's 61 MB. I'm not sure why it's writing to that. So in limit data file threshold, we create an active file and then make active data file as this, which is even here we do the same. File.name, right? Okay, I think after this, so basically we have to check what's the active data file path. Okay, why is it .t file? Okay, I think we have to set the db.activeData file as this file.name. Offset will be 0, like before starting this file. So let's say make test once. So my problem is like 61 MB to this data file, it's not like what we want. So if we do test data, we have 1D file, and if we do ID, so I think we can watch the test data here. I will run the DB here. Can we see how much memory it's taking? And see. AHL. Basically, I want to show that, watch this, so that it's more clear. Yeah. Now if I run sync here, we have to see the files changing. Let's see. Yeah. So we're also making sure that there's only one D file here, and we're not writing anything to that because you're not going to touch the D file. And if we run sync again, it's not going to do anything because we have already removed all the unused keys. So if let's see, I have copied. Okay, if the thing is that one ID file might contain like pieces, right? So not 5 MB, let's say 1 MB file. One ID file consists of 2 MB of active data, another one consists of 2 MB of active data. So in that case, then we need to handle the segment writes. So to test that, we need something else. We need keys with different expiry times. I think even then this should work. Because so let's say we're writing to this segment, right? And we are seeing this, adding the segment.size to this dir paths. I have to see the merge file path. That's where we are checking the threshold, and we are setting that which is equal to the dir path. But the dir path is this is it. This dir path is a test data. So if we see the dir path and then what's the dir path? This is a dir path. It's a folder. We need a file. So this should be the path then. I'm not sure. Is this a path? Why is it not running? We have deleted. Is it? We didn't read this, right? How did this get deleted? Oh, I think we did make test, so that might have deleted. So we are doing make clean before testing. So if we do make db and then sync, what I want is, so let's not do any of this. What I want is a path and db.dir path. So this is a path, this is a path. So shouldn't this be the path? I guess when we are creating this, okay, the merge file path, we are using it two places. So this should be db.dir path itself, because dir path is where you want to create the inactive file. How do we know that's the inactive file? Yeah, because we're setting the active data file as that, right? Yeah, sync. So we will check. I think we can sync. Oops. What's happening? There's a lot of them. What is even happening? Like, we are writing to segment, but we are really changing. I mean, we are writing to the dir path. Okay, the create inactive. So this one will be dir path, and the temp data file pattern. Let's just clean this. I think it's taking a long time. Those many files are created, I guess. We don't want to run this command again. So the problem is it's creating a file. We only want to create if it exceeds the data threshold. So why is it creating these many? Okay, I guess merge file path is the size of the file. The size of the file. this last offset won't be 0. Because the data file is this, and yeah, offset can be 0. So I'm just confused. I mean, I'm not sure about this line. Should we set the current file name as active data file? I think yes, because this is where we want to write. And are we using that anywhere else? Just going to write here, and for each segment we want to write I guess if this is not the case, then we're going to write it when we are opening this, right? We need to check where we're writing and why is the size big. So first thing, we need to check the merge file path, and then db.activeDataFile, db.dir file. I think there is this one also, active data file. That's because we have changed this. Let's try writing that to the active data file. It also should remove the used ones after, like if we get to this, right? If the size of the active data file, what we're going to do is, and we have to remove the active data file, but the old one. So we need to, so there's two things. One is the old path, which is this path, which is a merge file path, which is what we need to remove, right? So let's see if it removes anything. I guess that works now. So if we copy everything from ID to test data, and now we watch, it should remove. see the size is decreasing, the list size. So I'm not sure if I do this again, if I copy this. Oops. Now I have how many items here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. Let me do make test first. I just want to confirm that we are not deleting any existing files. I think it's working. So only thing we have to confirm is, let's say, only thing we have to confirm is confirm partial writes, which means if 2 MB is a size of active key active segments, let's say, then only the new file should be written for 2 MB and continued for next IDE file, right? So now we have usually we have 3, right? So in ID file we have so many. So let me remove ID. Right, so let's spend some time doing this. I want to put this 10-second into the ID and then do 10 hour and then put that into test data and then copy the ID to test data. So what you want to do is copy test data to the star to ID, and now change this to hover and then run make test again. Now if you see the ID, we have 3 ID files. 3 ID files. So we have to copy this ID to test data. Before that we just see how many ID files are there. So in this there are 3, and if I add ID's ID file, then there are 6 ID files. Now if I do make db and sync, so there are 6, so it should be 3 as per our calculation. Yeah, so there are 3 ID files, and if I do size, and there is what we want. So that's how merging works, I guess. I think partial rates also works now, because so let's say we have got 2 MB worth segments, so we will see for each segment, right? I mean, let's say we have returned 2 MB to this, right? And we are going to the next file. We have deleted the old file now, so the temporary file consists of 2 MB, the new temporary file. Again we go to the next file, next ID file we are scanning, and then we see get the active segments. Let's say that's 4 MB, right? What happens if yeah, if we go through because we are going through each segment, we will, like before writing, we're going to check if the segment size exceeds 5 MB of that file. So at, let's say, 4.99 MB, we try to write a segment, and then it's going to exceed 5 MB. So then we create a new ID file. So that's how partial rates are going to work, and I guess that's how we want it to work as well. So you can see one ID file is consisting of 1.1 MB, because we have removed all the other key files, right? And should the D file consist of 5 MB of data? Because we are not doing anything to the D file. Should we set this? So if we copy that and watch the D file. So first of all, make test. What's the size of the D file? Yes, this is doing. This is not picked up. So the D file is 1.1 MB. So, okay. Why are we going through? If it is not an inactive segment, we are going to continue, or else we're going to set the active name. Yeah, I think this should do. So if you have seen, the D file is 1.1 MB. We have 3 ID files. Now after running sync, what should happen is that we should have 3 ID files with each 5 MB and 1 D file with 1.1 MB. So before, what happened was we have one D file with 5 MB. That's not what we want. So 150.id file. Have we removed anything? Okay. I don't know why it's not updating, but yeah, so the D file is 1 MB and the ID files are 5 MB. I think this works. So if we do make DB now, and then we get all the keys, and even if we do make DB and get the size, it's the exact size. So yeah, so this is working. What we want to do is, when we are running this, the user can call sync whenever they want in order to sync these things, right? So for this, it's going to take this dir path from the DB which we are creating. So it's going to use that. So we don't need any other arguments here. So one other thing which the feature is custom expiry. Per KV pair, we can give our own expiry. Let's say 1 KV pair can expire in 5 seconds, 1 KV pair can expire in 2 seconds or 10 minutes or something. So yeah, I think that's what we needed today. I think for agenda, we have done this, right? So this is done, and we have handled the errors as well. So the options can be a bit more useful if we are using, I don't know where we need exactly, I'm not sure. The dir path, I guess we need to fix that too. So the dir path, what I mean by that is we are not using the dir path itself. So we are using the is test to confirm the path. So actually what needs to be done is we need to set options here, right? DB will have options as well. So here the dir path will be air path, and the options will be let's say dir path is, I guess to for some needs we need the absolute path. I think we can ignore this for now. I guess this should work. I'll just push this, and okay, there are ID files here. So another thing is the bench isn't working. Benchmarks. I have no idea why this isn't working. Why is it not even working? You're opening the data file path. Okay, let's check the example. Right, and we'll use the dir path. Let's set this to false. Nope. So is a KV let's throw in there. Is it only of get? It's only get. I don't know why I'm not able to get this. Maybe what was that? What's a random value? And that's this is not exactly what we want. So get key dir isn't working. Okay, are we setting the expiry to? We have 24 hours, right? And when getting, let's say, let's call the all. Okay, the value is not coming up. And the reason, what's the reason? Okay, maybe we need to put all of them inside this. Why is it not coming in? Maybe we don't need to open this every time, something like that. The first time we are getting test but no value. Next time we are getting nil. So let's see what the command is for go bench. Okay, they want us to set in a loop, right? So this will be So depending on this, and how many do people are? 10,000. Okay. I think for this also let's write 10,000 should be enough.